Alright folks, welcome back to the semifinals. A little bit more back and forth than I expected, but I'm loving every second of it. Spawning in the bottom right corner of the map, we have our French player, who is from Millennium, and I'm sorry guys I didn't get the team name or the logo in time, but it is going to be Lilbow.
Yeah, we're left as the Red Zerg. It's Axiom's Impact.
Man, you're not going to give him some more build-up? Like, just came back off of the edge of defeat. He's looking to take this series back. It's Impact!
No.
Okay. Whatever, dude. In all seriousness, though, Impact did play that one a lot better. I really liked the... It was almost like watching... Well, I don't watch fencing, but what I imagine fencing is like. There's a lot of nice deflections of the attacks from Lilbow. Some ripostes or whatever, if you will. And I don't know, he traded a lot better in the early game, and I really like those counterattacks snuck behind Lilbow's lines. It's what let him get to that Hydralisk count. And then Hydralisk count, that was everything when it came to crushing the Stalkers.
I don't know much about what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about it.
It's like when I make football references. I know like 2 moves. Touchdown!
It's not a move, really.
Okay, well, rugby is lateral. I know that much. Sports!
Joe Rifkin. Sports, do the things, win the points.
Exactly. Although, that's one thing about sports I never understood. Why are some things worth such ridiculous points? Like why has basketball got 3-pointers opposed to, like, whatever?
Because there's 1, 2, and 3-pointers. Like, that actually, like, makes sense.
I don't know, dude. A goal's a goal. You don't kill somebody extra hard.
I don't know about football. Like, football is like, there's 2 ways to score, right?
Okay,
There's 2 different points to score.
If we keep talking about this, we're going to piss so many people off, because I know there's a lot of people who actually watch sports.
Soccer makes sense. You get 1 point for 1 goal.
Yeah, and when you fake an injury, it looks really... Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
So,
yeah, soccer's...
quicker third base out of Impact this time around, guys. He does this before Pool. On Deadwing is certainly something you can get away with. It's a lot different than, say, trying to go for like a third base quickly on Overgrowth, because there's only one way into the base. You don't have to really worry about this double-pronged attack from 2 different areas like you would on Overgrowth. So for Impact, you should be able to defend this a little bit easier should this still be the same level of all-in. Of course, there are the back rocks that you're going to have to worry about a little bit, but even that's going to take time to knock down to give him plenty of time to respond for it. So I really like this greedy move to get ahead, because he is going to need to play that macro game on a big map like this versus Lilbow.
Yeah. Usually this is the map where we see swarm hosts, alright? But even if it's not swarm hosts, it's like some type of tech transition, right? Like both players get up to a third base and everything's fine and dandy, and the Zerg player says, man, I really want to get to like Aspire swarm hosts, and they try and tech swap, and then that's when the Protoss does like their Blinkstalker +2 attack and they die. We've actually seen that like a lot lately. And you know, sometimes we have Lilbow.
I'm pleading with chat right now. Please don't get mad at us for a lack of sports knowledge.
Actually, I actually played all of the sports that we're talking about, except fencing. Like that was all you.
Well, actually, ironically enough, I do fencing in real life, but that's like building fences.
You didn't watch fence. Oh.
you have to take these giant posts of wood, guys, and you can't hammer them in the ground. You get this big giant like metal hollow, I guess, cylinder. You just slam it into the ground over and over. It's the most painful thing for your shoulders. Fun fact. Anyways, Lings coming across the map for Impact. Not a whole lot of them, but enough to scout, and enough to certainly deny a third should a probe just dive for it.
3 gateways again is you know, pretty standard. Definitely expect an expansion off of this. Like, I don't even know if he's going to try and apply any pressure with it. You know, pylons on the map have actually been the actually very rare, as silly as that is to say. I mean, compared to other Protosses who, like, they'll of course put prox pylons just because they're attacking, but also like the later the game goes, the more they want to place them around the map for warp in points and you know seeing and vision on the map. And Lilbow is actually all about the not doing that. He's about the attacks, man, not the silly pylons that you need to do the attack.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up, because we do have, like, say, Lilbow who plays his style that we've been watching. You have players like Huck who ninja hide probes throughout the course of the game so they can get those 1 or 2 very clutch pylons down. And then you get the all-inners who are like, kind of like, I don't know, the more Arthur-type people who just throw down 17 pylons as they leapfrog across the map because they just want to all-in as hard as possible. So Lilbow does play very unique styles of Protoss when it comes to this. We really haven't seen a lot that mimic him. But this time he does go for the Forge much earlier than expected, so we may not actually see him dive across that map. In fact, it looks like he is looking to take that third.
Really expected here. A lot of it has to do with the fact that, like, it's really like the Protoss can do something, they can do an all-in or, you know, whatever, but when a Zerg has to choose, like, do I want to deny this third on Deadwing? How am I really going to do it up a ramp with force fields? You know, we usually don't see it, so they're kind of like forced to go into a macro game, where otherwise on a different map, maybe they go for like a roach attack or something.
So we have a small cameo from the Axiom coach coming in here. Crank chat says, is there anyone who wants to spank Impact's butt after he loses? Wow, dude. Gotta have some faith.
Wow. Hey, Total Biscuit was in the live report thread.
Of course, Cake's just having a good time, but if you guys do want to spank Impact's butt, send him a PM here on Twitch. But no, in all seriousness, like, I really, jokes about losing aside, I don't think Impact is going to go down so easily. Like, this is one of those games with the way this has been set up, the fact he's got so many drones already, Lilbow's going to have to really earn this if he wants a quick victory, because it's not going to be as easy as pushing him down. But he is hitting at this really nice time again without that pylon, with that regular poking force, where Impact doesn't have a lot of units just yet. In fact, spine cars are coming down a little bit out of panic.
Wow, like this is not an all-in, guys. This is 4 gateways, no, 3 gateways, with the 4th one on the way.
Whoa, the drone's getting pulled already. This is getting a lot more hectic than I thought it would. If the spine car is complete, and it looks like they will, there's a lot of transfuses potentially available. This should drive it off, but 7 drones dead is quite nasty. That was not detrimental, I'd say, to Impact so much as just leveling the playing field. You know, that's really taken away his advantage of going for the faster third, getting so many more drones up so quickly. Now, this hasn't scared him off of droning, as we can see, but what I do find interesting, he has invested in melee upgrades. We didn't really talk about this too much, but melee upgrades, if nothing else, they make Zerglings so good at chipping down buildings. Whether it's finding a pylon on the map or a Ling run by, makes them so much better.
The question, of course, is like, what do you do after this, right? Because do you go for 2-2 with the melee upgrades? Like, you know, upgraded Lings was one of my most favorite styles in ZDP, but it's not like usually done that much anymore. You know, you might get the 1 melee, but then you go into roaches or swarm or something like that, instead of like maybe the fast ultras that happened once upon a time. Although Impact, I think, did it maybe once or twice recently. I don't know if it's gonna do that again.
Well, just a quick note, we got a very nice, a very generous donation coming in, $30 from Swords Noobs. It says, shout out to Gumio, the Li Fang Bonjour. Perhaps I should have saved that donation for reading that donation for the next Festa 5. But yeah, Gumio and Hearthstone will be coming up next, folks. Don't forget. But yeah, we gotta muscle through this one. Now we got the infestation pick coming out of Impact.
Yeah.
This, okay, there's like 3 different ways I want to see this go. I mean, I kind of think with melee weapon upgrades, Broodlords are the long game. Those are the end game, right? But at the same time, we've seen Impact use Swarm Host quite nice defensively without over-dedicating to them. Not going for that, like, 30-plus Swarm Host count. But whatever he's doing, he needs to do it quick, because it's a big army coming across the map.
Right. Yeah, I was going to think he was going to go for Infestors, or maybe even up to those fast ultras that I was talking about, or Broodlords.
Ooh, I like
it is going to be Infestors. That's really cool. Unfortunately, they won't be ready. I mean, you still got to wait for it to be halfway done, and then you have to wait for the Infestors. And this attack is happening right now, and it is with pylons, although Impact's trying his hardest not to make it with pylons.
Well, he's also trying his hardest to make sure that this is delayed as long as possible. He's bought a lot of time. Lilbow's responded back and forth twice at this point, but looks like he is finally consolidated up, ready to push. And
he's going to get Infestors before fungal or pathogen glands is done.
He's not doing a lot though. He's just doing a couple, I think, for the sake of having it. But there we go. Starts investing some more. Regardless of whether it's mistimed or not, I mean, fungal growth would be fantastic because they hold the stalkers in place. They don't deal enough damage, but they will kill all of those sentries if you can get that one sick fungal.
Absolutely, and it's not something you really expect anymore as the Protoss player. Like, you expect Swarm Host, and in fact, you did see the Infestation Pit with the Phoenix, but yeah, Swarm Host, he's probably thinking, yeah, I caught him as he was transitioning, this is going to be awesome. But it's actually going to be Infestors, that's going to be quite a big surprise. 2 of them will pop out without Patrick Ledger to leave.
Impact's done a great thing, though, while this goes on. He does take out the pylon, so there is no more reinforcement line. Fungal growth lands on the Mothership Core. If you pick this off, this might actually guarantee a better fight, but as Mothership Core goes down, it pops out both Time Warps, and now Impact's got to deal with the brunt of this.
Yeah. Actually, all of his Infestors had a fungal, so they're actually perfectly timed right on the edge there. And it's just going to be barely enough, and there's no reinforcement point. Like, all of the pylons are taken down.
I think 58 Lings with no force fields to stop them will push this back. They'll probably surround and kill on the counter. I mean, Lilbow's got to be so careful. He's going to lose everything here.
Yeah, and he got, you know, another robotics facility behind this, and I think it was because, again, he was expecting Swarm Host, but he's going to use it for Immortals right now, like double pump Immortals.
That's really interesting. Impact's doing anything but something that would be good. Immortals would be good against, right? Not a lot of roaches in play, going towards that hive tech. I guess if this is a swap for Ultralisk, this will pay out a little bit later. But I still think knowing Impact, I don't imagine Ultras are probably the key here.
But he'd have to have a Spire, and there's no Spire.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Well,
So
either way,
I think
Fungal Growth to lock this down will allow these Lings to actually kill the Stalkers, which is quite nice. No escape.
Why? It seems like, you know, the one opportunity you wouldn't abuse this is when there's Fungals there, so.
Yeah.
I don't know about that jump up there.
You know, it did cost him a lot of Lings, though, funneling into that choke. He had the support from the ground army, of course, but with so many Fungals available, these Infestors did live. You know, so many times we see Infestors awkwardly die. They get the Fungal off, and they just got to sit at the front lines. Impact's done a great job of retaining these numbers. Very expensive units that he doesn't want to have to replace continually.
Yeah.
But his
it is
lane
3-base
counts-
versus... It's quite high, and again with the upgrades.
Yeah. I think, well, not enough energy for a recall, actually. It's kind of dangerous.
Very dangerous. The Immortals, though, are really hammering away at the Roaches that he's now depending on.
Yeah, but he takes them up pretty quickly as well. This army forced to sit and fight due to those Fungals. Not to mention the little bit of damage they provide is quite nice. 30 damage isn't a lot, but buffering on top of many different units. Oh, Bull Infestor's back! There we go.
Yeah, a couple Infestors did die. The Lings trying to flood in to help out their Roach brethren, and then Immortal still just barely lives.
Yo, Infested Terran's the MVP here, though. They do take out the Mothership Core and almost kill the Immortal. But Ling's still flooding in, and this mineral line here is just providing such a perfect engagement spot.
Yeah. Dude, no one's really taking the lead, by the way. Like, look at the numbers right here. Like, the
resources
worker
lost.
count, the army count.
Yeah, it's been pretty back and forth. But for, I mean, they're both on tech, too. That's what's crazy. There's upgrades behind this. There's Infestors behind this. I do get kind of worried, though, because Impact is putting a lot of dedication to this base. Whereas I think if you just tried to take another hatchery, you know, we true style, right? Hatchery over here to the left, maybe this is less of a concern.
Maybe. He is starting to catch those reinforcements. I was about to say, like, those Immortals that he's getting are coming across the map, and they're finally killed.
That big blink might be a problem, though. Oh, actually, not enough energy for Fungals. I take that back.
Oh, very painful there. And even then, like, I don't even know if he has enough units with the surface area, especially because he is depending so much on Lings, that this position looks like not as abusive because of Fungals, but when you're out of Fungals, it's really abusive again.
Yeah, Ling counterattack still trying to sneak behind this while this goes on. Lilbow's base is nicely fortified, and that's a big warpin', so this shouldn't be too much. His fourth might get canceled if Impact dives for it.
Yeah, if he really thinks about it, I don't think he's been thinking about it so far. That Fungal comes out again, and the Lings, I mean...
These mineral lines are really killing Impact, seriously, more than anything else. There's no reason for him to continue engaging on that cliff, and I don't know why he keeps choosing to do that, as it does keep costing him a lot more than he's netting for it every single time.
I really think that he's thinking, like, you know, like, oh man, a Fungal on all of those Stalkers, that's going to be awesome, and then I guess he, you know, depending on Lings so much, it's actually not that great.
You know what's actually happening in this game, though, right? Crank told Impact, if you lose another game to a foreigner, I'm going to spank you. So now the incentive is there to win. The money didn't matter. No, I'm just saying, punishment is punishment, no matter how you look at it.
Okay.
Okay, so these Lings have been dancing a lot inside the fourth base, and I do like that he's been very active on Lilbow's half of the map, but we're kind of getting to this really scary point in the game where Impact doesn't really have that fourth base. He's not really matching his opponent, much less taking a lead in that regard.
Yeah, and it's like the units that he's using are not... They're not that, like, Ling Roach...
Does he know about the double robo? No, he doesn't know about the double robo. This does concern me because if he goes Ultralisk, it's going to be the quickest way to throw this game.
Right? I think he's realized how to go Ultras because he's actually getting Vipers. He's got 5 Vipers.
Ooh. Fungal Growth, hold the Stalkers in place.
Yeah.
Blinding Cloud right on top of it. Nothing going to happen for Lilbow.
Right, yeah. And, you know, if you can't do that, then just pulling all these really, like, the big units, which they are Archons and Immortals, would be good too.
This is such a big ground army. We're so used to seeing Colossus soak up so much of the supply, so it's usually a smaller Protoss force overall, but with so many Immortals, so many Archons, like, oh my god.
What? Is he expecting to lose the Infestation Pit? I guess... No, that's gotta be for an Ultralisk Cavern, and he forgot.
Save for the sorry. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think he forgot. I actually...
I meant press the wrong button.
I'm just saying because he's got this in such a bad spot. Like, it's not at all surprising to write off possibly losing this when you don't want to. But gonna dive in for this engagement. Oh, those Blinding Clouds so very necessary to block out the Immortal shots to make these Roaches do the damage they need to. There's a couple more Vipers, but they're all out of energy. The Fungal Growths have exhausted too, and the magicians for this fight are now out of juice. He's got to pull back. Oh, the Vipers though flying forward, not backwards. Roaches are dissipating, and Lings. There's 50 on the way. We'll see if these can hold. There's still 2 Archons left, so it's gonna be very dangerous to just flood in with Lings blindly.
all of the Immortals survives? Like, oh my god. There's no way Roche can deal with it.
No, but it's not Roaches he's making, right? It's a bunch of Lings. They're going to have adrenal glands. All they do is get a couple of good connects, but...
I don't know.
That's a lot of Zealots warping in at the same time.
That's still too big of an army. Like, 60 Lings sounds like a lot, but he needs like 100, 200 for that army. Plus the Fungals, really what's missing out on.
Yeah, he's not got any energy on these Infestors. He popped out a couple of Infested Terrans. We did get some Blinding Cloud energy while this went on, so the Immortals are going to try and get some shots off, move outside of it. Oh, but the Infestors are just going down to being in the wrong spot. Good game is going to be called. Ladies and gentlemen, Lilbow will knock Impact out 3-1. The foreign hope, if you will. At the same time, that was a great game out of Impact. It's really a shame that came down to be a loss, but I would have loved to see game number 5, but no complaints, guys, because we got another awesome match set up right now. Gumiho versus Hearthstone. So this will be TVP this time around. We'll see how this goes. But don't feel too sad for Impact, guys. We've definitely seen a lot of Impact between Alima League, between a lot of other things we've had him around for, and not to mention he gets $100. So hey, he doesn't walk away empty-handed at all. He played a couple of best of 3s yesterday, lost the best of 5, and walks away with some holiday cash. So either way, congratulations to him, and well, thank him for playing, but more congratulations go to, of course, Lilbow actually winning and going to the finals, which will be pretty cool to see. So we got a best of 5 coming up, folks. We're going to play an ad break for ourselves this time. We haven't done any ads today. We're going to play a proper ad break while we get vetoes sorted and catch Hearthstone, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes. So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll continue with the EIZO Holiday Brawl after the break.